Hello everybody! Let's try to make this upbeat as possible because I'm not going to be here very long. I do not have a ton of value to add on this watch list. Boring. Boring. There was a few gappers today, there was stuff moving, and just no daily setups, daily chart patterns. Just, no daily chart patterns, no setups, bunch of stuff moving, but no idea how to trade them. So, boring on my end. Binny, I'll just mention this one because this is the Mullen ticker change. The habitual diluter has a new ticker, so worth mentioning. If this ever runs again, or reverse splits, or does something like this, then it's a swing back to lows. So, just mentioning that because of the ticker change. Open. Another shove up into the 280s today, met with selling pressure. Never saw higher. So this kind of looks like it's done. This break right here. And now we're consolidating under it into close. So I think I could look for pops and use 280 as a risk and look to swing this for sub 2. So I'll be looking at quiet pops on that one. Borrow some swing shares and look to risk the bounce high. XAHL hasn't gone away. Donut, that 4 breakdown, looks like it could have some room because there's no volume lower. GoPro, I did try to bounce it today, and like I said, was going to give it one shot on an opening range break. We got the pullback, the swipe. I bought the pull right into the prior day's highs and cut it under lows for a 1 hour loss. So no interest in watching that one anymore. NVTS, I took that swing off today. I was long at 9 and took it off at 890, so super small loss. But it pushed right up into those 9s, and I was not going to wait for like 840s to break down and lose another 50 cents a share when I don't need to. But that is, the stock's dead to me at this point. Let's just remove that. MCVT and SMX was hoping that these would go higher. Did gap up today, but faded so much in pre-market that it wasn't up enough for me to, like, look at that. 7 a.m. snap, little shove into 8, and then just see you later. Right after market open, absolutely no bounces to be had. Did it close red? 5.9. Closed right around it. But anyways, this, I could see like a first red day, maybe a pull down to 450 into these prior highs and fill this little liquidity pocket. So I'd use like 7 as a guide and look for a pull to 450 tomorrow. Quieter idea, volume has pulled back. It didn't gap up as much as I would have liked, but it did go from 2 to 8 on a 2-day run, and I think that there's room back towards the 4 EMA there. So I'll keep that one on watch. Same kind of thing with SMX. I don't think this one has quite as much meat on the bone, but maybe get a pull to like 160 or something like that. This one did close right on red as well. So as long as they hold red, could use like 250, 260 as a guide, and then as long as it's red, look to lean. But they're just kind of quiet ideas, not really A+. ATNF, this one gapped down a bit too much for me to want to trade that breakout, and then it ran into close and then had some Ethereum treasury news or something like that, and then halted news pending. So no reason to watch that anymore. Too much volatility and not enough predictability. NVNI, this one here was a gapper this morning, so it wasn't on the watch list yesterday. But you can see volume here, multi-day run, sets a high in the 70s, and then it gaps up and my plan in the chat room that I had posted was I starting to spike at market open. And I said, ideally, this tops out in the 70s and then consolidates for at least an hour and then re-breaks out in the afternoon. Now, it didn't break out in the afternoon. It broke out in after hours, but you got this push, pull, sub-VWAP, trap, and reclaim, and then you get this top, and starts to tighten towards the highs. So I think this like 62, 63 entry right here, volume coming in and breaking those lower highs, I think you could long this in risk versus lows. And you'd be up a 2-to-1 trade right now. So I don't want this to be opening over 76 tomorrow. I think the odds favor this just gapping up and running without me. And then at that point, the next play would be just let it run, do something like this, and look for that overextension. But ideally, it doesn't gap over 76. We get a pull, and we're holding within the 70 to 76 range, and I can buy that rebreakout. But we will see. Finger, just starting its multi-day run, no real plan. Maybe a gap fill and run to 350, and then I'd look to short it. VWAV, just a % gainer. Sam, Jeff, good to see ya. A couple of the regulars. Good to see ya. Not planning on sticking around here for too long. How long has it been? Like 6 minutes right now. But literally I've covered everything I needed to. GoPro and NVTS, there's no lessons to be taken. I mentioned to my pod group that they were like, hey, what are you watching today? I'm watching this, this, and this. I'm like, what I'm hoping is that nothing triggers and I don't have to trade today. Unfortunately, GoPro did trigger, and I was kind of forced to just follow the plan. 1 second. Someone's at the door. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I pretty much everything I've gone over, I've done in 6 minutes here. I just don't have a ton of value to add. Plan going to the open, like I said to my pod members, is I was hoping nothing would trigger. I didn't really have a watch list going into today, no high conviction ideas. Unfortunately, this one did trigger, and systematically I need to buy it. So I went with as low as risk as possible and risked 1R. Sometimes I could risk half R on this, but then if I'm risking less than 1R, then what's the point in taking it in the first place? So I took the 1R risk, took it off. NVTS just slammed so hard. There's no reason to continue to hold this. It should have bounced right here if it was going to continue, and it just kept rolling over. So that was all I did today. There's probably a bit more actionable ideas tomorrow. Navini ideally opens between 70 and 76. SMX and MICVIT using pops, first red days. Open. I don't hate this idea for a swing on pops versus 280 risk. Just been studying right now, hands off. Short Purge level 2 webinar is amazing. Oh, huh. I have not seen it. I'll check it out. I would check it out. But alrighty guys, that's all I've really got today. I'll keep it short and sweet. No reason to sit around when I don't have a ton of ideas to share. And hopefully stuff picks up into the end of the week. Or maybe we just pick up next month. We're coming to the end of the month anyways, so don't give back what my killer week yesterday. My killer week last week. Try to just stay even keel. Alrighty guys, take it easy. Oh, there we go. We got some more people in there. Take it easy. Have a good evening, and I will see you guys in IU. Peace.